5:30, we'll get started. Call the Law Enforcement Committee meeting to order. Believe we have a quorum. And open it up for public comment. I don't see anybody here to make public comment, so I'll close public comment. Got a set of minutes to approve, if anybody has read them. And
Move to approve.
Second.
got a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and the only thing on our agenda tonight is the LOA with Vanderbilt, and I'll turn it over to.
I'll start it.
Brian.
I'll start it off. As for the past year and a half, we've been discussing about medical bills. We had a rough year last year with medical bills, and we talked about how our local provider Vanderbilt has, at the time they went up to 65%, where we were paying a whole lot less, and that really affected our medical budget last year. We've been in consultation ever since we heard about the 65%, trying to negotiate. We finally come back out with Commissioner McFarland, Commissioner Kurtz, and help, and it's they come back at us with a 45% rate. And we had a big lump sum of bills latter part of last year's budget that we had to get paid, and they honored that 45%. They've been on us and asking us to enter into a contract with them. I think we need to enter into a contract with them, but we have to get together on the contract. And it will be at a 45% rate. For only our local Vanderbilt campus. Okay. Anything going to Nashville will be back up to the 60%. So
65.
60. So we transfer somebody to the hospital. They go Lebanon first. If they transfer them to Nashville, it's going to jump back up to 60.
You think they do that?
Yes.
Yes, it happens.
It
It happens a lot.
I'm saying so they can get to 60%?
I don't know. I'm not going to say, but it's we've had a good working relationship with this facility for several years, and I would like to continue that. But they supplied us with a contract to look at, and Mike's looked at it. I'm going to turn over to Lance here in just a minute, and they sent us a contract that would cost the county a lot of money if we signed the contract, from what we've read. We went through with our local, our in-house medical provider, and went through the contract. Lance and them did. They know the medical language more than we do. And we've highlighted, I don't know if y'all got the highlighted version or not, you've got it in your hand, but there's several things that's highlighted in that contract that really I would suggest that we don't agree to, okay? So, the reason why we're here tonight, I want to talk about, we've had this discussion about money and medical money for the past couple of years. I want to, and I told Mike, I said, I want to meet with the law enforcement committee just to run it by them, let them know what's going on, in case we send this new contract to them with all this red line stuff deleted. My thinking is they'll probably send it back within pretty quick and saying no. But I don't know. We'll see. But there's some things in here that will really cost the county money. And here, let me say this, okay? Under this contract that they sent us, if the city of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Watertown, Highway Patrol, TWRA, TBI, takes anybody in that hospital before they ever come to the Wilson County Jail, under this contract, the county would be responsible for paying that bill, where we never had any hands on them.
We just had a guy there for a long time.
So
We had him covered, watched him everything 24/7. Just got done.
And I'm just saying that there's several things in here that it's going to cost us money. So let me turn it over to Lance real quick. He's really beat down on this pretty hard, and he'll tell you where we're at. But like I said, I just want to run it through this committee. There's no money being expended under this contract.
No, we're just trying to make a deal.
We're just trying to make a deal. And so I don't even know if I need to run it in front of the budget, but I just really want to run it in front of these first and let them direct me where I need to go.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it. This is the red line version. As the sheriff said, I've read it probably 50 times. Our healthcare provider, who's well more blessed in the terminologies, and they do contracts a lot in East and West Tennessee. So the first thing she said was, her and the attorney that worked for them said that they'd never seen a contract like this, a letter of agreement. They've never seen one. Just didn't make sense. But anyway, especially page 1 where the sheriff was referring to identification, notification. Basically, A, B, and C, there C sort of, and I'm just going to read this. If WCSO fails to provide sufficient information to the hospital's registration department in accordance with above A and B, then WCS shall be financially responsible for the patient's care under this agreement. And so basically, they want us to be able to provide all of the information, whether it's our patient, our inmate, I mean, anything. And they tweaked it a little bit. This was not the very first one they sent out. Original had a 60 and 65% in it. And so this one's been revised a little bit. And they tried to tweak that after we had our meetings with Colonel McFarland, and we had different meetings. So they tried to tweak that a little bit, and they changed it a little bit, but still, it says in B, for patients not yet been processed prior to arrival at the hospital, that means not processed through the jail, WCSD shall provide the hospital no later than 48 hours with the patient's discharge information from the hospital. They want all that information, patient's insurance information. We don't have that.
If he does a citizen arrest and carries him to the hospital because it's stumped and told, you're responsible.
Well,
I want to explain one thing. If I don't mean to interrupt.
Yes, sir.
And I know y'all been in the meetings. Vanderbilt is a Nashville-based hospital. Okay, I want y'all to picture this. Okay, the sheriff's office in Nashville does not patrol the streets of Davidson County. Okay, the Metro Police Department does. Okay, they don't have all these jurisdictions like we do. So if Metro Police brings one in there, and anybody that's in our jail, that comes through our doors in our jail, listen, we're responsible for 100%. Okay, we're talking about all the outside people that they don't never come through our jail until after they leave the hospital, and they're asking us to supply all this information. If Lebanon, Mountain View, at Watertown arrest somebody and take them to the hospital, we don't know till they get in our custody. Go ahead.
so anyway, I'm not going to beat you up on the rest of this. I do have 2 questions for the county attorney that I just want to know how. All the other comments in here are suggested changes, the red comments, with the exception of 2. And Mr. Jennings, one question would be, I'm going to page 3 under insurance and general liability. I believe it is worded right, but in the red line version it says, I'd say your attorney will want to reword this to say they are responsible for their own insurance. Well, I think the way I read, each party agrees to procure and maintain its sole expense adequate insurance, either equivalent to the program or self-insurance within the limits of $1 million and $3 million aggregate. I think the way I'm reading that, they have their insurance, we have ours.
Yes.
So we're self-insured and we are covered under those limits. I've checked that already. So I think that wording there is suffice.
I do too.
Okay.
I was wondering what they wanted to change their
Okay.
votes.
I just think they wanted your
Again,
input
this
on
one.
that.
Yeah.
And then the last one would be over on governing law. I know you want that to say Wilson County, but my question would be, if it was a Davidson County hospital, would they have a right to venue in Davidson County?
Well, they do have a right there, but I would prefer Wilson County, but as we've said before, I wouldn't let that be a deal killer. If they agree to everything else, I wouldn't let that be a deal killer.
Okay. Would we want it to say Wilson if there's a Wilson County hospital inmate, and Davidson if it's a Davidson County hospital inmate? How would that be?
You can do that, but since we're dealing with them and they're dealing with our people, wherever we start here and go there, or whether we take them there, it's still Wilson County inmates. I think it ought to be done here.
Okay.
But again, if this is the only thing that's left, I don't know that I'd let that stand in the way.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't think that's gonna be I don't think that part's gonna be the deal breaker. I think these other.
Oh, I think there's plenty there for them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna close by saying, if y'all wanna digest this, you can, but I think we've done everything we can do to it. I think county attorney will agree. I hope y'all would agree, and if that's the case, then I think the sheriff's ready to present it to Vanderbilt Wilson County and see if they'll accept it. If they don't accept these changes, I don't think they will. We're ready to proceed with another vendor. And we've got talks ongoing with another vendor.
I was gonna ask, I remember one time we talked, there might have been a possibility we could take them somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
So what's that agreement? I mean, what would that be?
We're still waiting. I mean, we have been in contact with them, we've met with them, and I'm not gonna name the place, okay? But, as of today, we're still waiting on.
I have an email back from them giving us a rate that I wouldn't throw out. I wouldn't throw it away.
So it's good.
Yes,
Yes.
So, looks like.
it's better than. Let me just say, it's
Should we,
better than this one.
Should we figure out what they're gonna do first before we start, or we just, like, we're just negotiating?
We're using these people right now.
Right.
We gotta give some good faith something that we're trying to do something.
So what kind of agreement do they want for us time-wise? Like a contract? A year?
Don't just- As far as a year?
I mean, they want to get in a contract, right?
Well, this is just a letter of agreement that
Yeah.
we're gonna do what they say.
I think what he's asking is it a year letter of agreement? Is it a forever letter of agreement?
It's ongoing until it's canceled by one or other party.
That's right.
And that'd be a mess. That's hard to get out of, right?
No, no.
No.
A letter of agreement's much easier than a contract.
And it's pretty easy.
It's out clause.
Yeah, you just give them so many days notice, and I forget what it.
The easy
See,
part about
90
that,
days prior written notice.
well, the easy part about that is you just stop sending inmates down there.
Yeah.
I guess I have to refer
There's
to the office.
nothing in here, I read for that, is exclusive to Vanderbilt Hospital if we sign this.
That's correct.
Can I jump in? This thing is written like Metro, like one police department. Responsible for everything, and as Lance said, you got so many different agencies that will deposit patients on the door down there. The county doesn't need to be responsible for something THP does. Or TBI or Watertown Police or whoever, you know, unless they go through jail. Then do it, so.
And again, if they come through the doors of them jail, we're responsible.
Agreed.
Sheriff, what was you saying a while earlier about, like, if, and I may be wrong, the highway patrol, if they pull some over, we're responsible for them? But what'd you say about that, the different, like at the city?
Under this contract, we would. Say THP's working a wreck, okay? A wreck, somebody got injured in a wreck, they can't just wait and charge this person later or indict him. They have to go to the hospital and sit on him, okay? Under that, he may have a broken whatever, but under this, would be responsible for him.
He's in custody.
He's in custody.
He's in custody, okay.
There's no way we can do that.
What about an out-of-county inmate has a permanent resident out of county, that we wind up here?
May, if I read this, whereas the purposes of definition of patients in custody means that a person is not free to leave independently for all or part of the time that the hospital is providing care to the person, regardless of whether or not the person has been booked or processed and or charged by WCSO. So we can split hairs on that, and they say, oh, that only applies to y'all, but it says has been or will be processed and or charged by WCSO. Prior to that, it says that anybody that's in custody. So, like I said, I don't want to get into some case law. I gave you some case law.
Yeah, I think whatever we agree to has got to be when they come into our possession, for lack of a better term.
And I go
Then
back.
we're responsible.
I go back to the Nashville-Davidson County thing. Okay, law enforcement then there's all under one umbrella. Okay, no matter it's the sheriff's office, they use a general hospital, don't they? Mm-hmm. Most of theirs is a general hospital, so it's a county-owned facility. But in saying that, I go back to
So we can't go there.
no.
No, whether it's Metro Police Department
Or the sheriff's office, it's all the same government. It's all the same government.
Right.
Mike, what do you think about all this?
I liked it after Lance sent it to me, and I'm gonna tell you the changes that are in there are not mine. Those came from medical professionals that deal with this stuff all the time, Yeah, and I felt good about it, because frankly, there was stuff that I wouldn't have thought of. And so I feel good with it.
Well, when I say our local medical provider, that's our in-house jail medical provider. They do contracts all over the state with hospitals, and they say, and they're the ones who made a lot of these
They
changes.
take care of like your regular primary.
In-house,
common cold.
in-house,
Right.
yeah.
What's the next step? Review this with the hospital or with Vanderbilt?
I think send it back to the hospital and see if they're gonna agree to the changes. If they say, no, we're not gonna agree to the changes, then we'll come back and report that to you pretty quick.
And we'll punt.
But the changes, we're still gonna be obligated to the highway patrol.
No,
No,
Okay.
no, that's what we're getting at.
We're-
Honor.
Right now, if we
This will take us
get,
out of it if it.
no, right now, if we get a bill, first thing we do is check it, see if they're in our inmate, and they were booked in, because it'll have a date and a time that they were processed in down there.
and I'll tell you one more thing. We got other counties coming into that hospital.
That's the point I was making a minute ago.
We've got other counties coming into that hospital.
They may bill us
And
for
they
it.
may bill us. We get them all the time. From Smith, Trousdale.
Yep.
So we immediately check it. If it's not ours, we send it back to them saying we're not responsible. And we've been doing that for years.
Well, that ain't, that's-
I just don't want y'all to be caught off guard whenever I come back and say, they've turned this down.
And we appreciate y'all's work on this, and it's been a long process. We're all responsible for taxpayers' money.
yeah, that's a mess.
I would like, I would ask that, tonight that we say, go on and send it.
Yeah.
And
I'll make a motion that we send it on to
Got a
them.
motion to approve the contract as redlined, and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
we'll do that. And Mike, do you think we can go on and send it? Or do I need to?
Do what,
Do you think we need to go on and send it? Can we send it tomorrow?
Yeah,
And
unless
then-
you wanna clean that up. I mean, I'd send it like that, show them what the changes are.
Yeah,
You know, my gut hunch is they'll come back and say, we'll have a tough decision to make, because they'll come back and say, well, we'll do this, we won't agree to this, and then you gotta figure out where you wanna go. I don't think they wanna give up the business, they're not gonna,
I like
Like
the idea of
reject.
going and taking it out, retype it, taking those things out and sign it, send it to them, just see if they'll accept, put that on the so million.
could do it that way
And
too.
they make a whole lot more from us than they do from insurance.
We could do that too.
I'd rather them see the comments of why we're doing what we're doing though. Because I think if we just say we're taking it out, I think if we leave those, just my opinion, if we leave those comments, they're saying that, hey, somebody's read this and knows
Yeah.
what they're talking
Might as
about.
What we're paying, all right? Yeah,
But
that's it.
I'll do
No
whatever.
further business? Got another motion?
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.